Jetnation. This is GreenBean, and before we get started, please do me a favor, like, subscribe to the channel, subscribe to Jetnation. You can follow me at GreenBean the Jetsfan on Instagram. You can find me at Bean the Jetsfan on Twitter, and you can also follow my national coaster tour at RV Theming on YouTube, one ride at a time. So all that aside, let's talk about something that happened this week. A lot of news coming out with our first week of the off season. And one of the things that came out, leaked out, was Adam Schefter claimed the Jets were actively involved in a potential blockbuster trade. Now, a lot of us, myself included, started thinking maybe that includes Sam Darnold. Who knows? Maybe we're going to trade him for a second-round pick. Maybe we're going to use him to move up in the draft or something like that. But I went out on a limb on the Tuesday night Talkin' Jets panel over at Jets Talk 24/7's channel.
Welcome to Talkin' Jets. My name's Ryan, and I'll be your pilot tonight. I am joined alongside our panel. I've got GreenBean and Matt OLeary.
So we were talking, and I went out on a limb, and I said that there's a chance that this potential blockbuster trade includes Deshaun Watson.
Now, we can get into some stuff in a minute. I don't want to take over the panel or anything, but there's a lot of talk about trading for Watson and what could be, and I have all kinds of theories for that.
Now, just a reminder, the Texans don't have any first or second round draft pick. They're way over the cap already, and they're trying to court new coaches to come in there. So that's a hole. A lot of coaches are going to think, I don't want to go into that hole. So what are some moves that they could make to try to get out of that hole?
Let's do this. Let's have a conversation about that right now. Then let me throw that up there.
We know Deshaun Watson. It counts about $35 to $45 million on the cap over the next few years each year. So I went out on a limb and I made some statements, and I pieced together some potentialities, some potential possibilities.
So GreenBean, I guess give us your thoughts on the Watson trade.
Well, the reason that they would is because number one, they blew it all up. So the GM is going to be new. The coach is going to be new. They're $30 million over the cap as it stands right now. They have no first or second pick. So they're in a very deep hole to attract anyone there. But there were some rumors, some rumblings that both him and JJ Watt are unhappy in Texas, or in Houston, let's say. So in the event they are looking to move on from him, everybody would already know that getting rid of him is a move to be able to clean it all off and get out of the hole, because $30 million over the cap and no draft picks to build with is a problem. Is it for a new head coach and a new GM and all that? What are they gonna do? There's very little you can do in free agency. There's very little you can do in the draft. In the front end of the draft. So in the event they are willing to move him, I think that most of the GMs are going to, especially our GM, Mike McCagnon might not know this. He might go, Watson, I'll give you 4 firsts. You know what I mean? But I think Joe Douglas is going to know exactly the hole that they're in and be able to work it down, because they're getting him off of the books might have the same value, especially in a quarterback class like this, when there are guys that really have a lot of potential. This is a deep quarterback class, even though the top 4 are in a different tier than the other guys, it is still deep. So who knows what they're going to want to do. But the fact, keeping a disgruntled guy for a new coach that happens to be expensive when you don't have any money could be an environment that breeds a trade. So I think you could get him for cheaper than normal this year.
And I was destroyed. I was attacked.
Matt, I think that GreenBean is completely off his rocker, because there's no way that they would trade Deshaun Watson for that. If you told me I could trade Sam Darnold and our second first-round pick for Watson, I'm doing it 100 times out of 100, and I'm trading at it too.
Right, so
100%.
I want GreenBean to know that I love him very dearly, but that was insane. I cannot believe it. Sam Darnold.
Mercilessly, not only by Matt and Ryan, but by the chat as well. ravenous dogs going after their helpless prey. I could do nothing but sit by and watch it happen. Everyone pounced. Everyone made fun of me, laughed, accused me of being on some sort of drug.
Holy smokes. I would do backflips if I was able to. If the Jets were able to pull that off, I would kiss Joe Douglas straight on the mouth. There's no way that they trade him. I'm
not on drugs. I'm smart, I tell you, and I want respect. And then what happened merely 48 hours later? The rumors started that Deshaun Watson is unhappy and just might be on the trading block. Not only that, but that the Jets were involved with a potential trade. The way that my initial information was received would lead you to believe that my gray beard insinuated senility. They made fun of the old man, as youth usually does.
It's funny. Somebody said in the chat that they think we might all be on edibles tonight. So,
But remember, we mock what we do not understand. Dan Aykroyd, spies like us. One of the great lines in all of movie history. Now, in their defense, maybe the capital used to get the trade was maybe not as, appropriate.
and I think that if they do agree to trade, as soon as they make the call, you're just like we were talking about last week with Jacksonville. They make the call, you already know what they want. You know what I'm saying? You already know. So that drops their leverage. And if you're smart, you can play with that. So I think you can get Deshaun Watson for a second and Sam Darnold or something like that. That was just an example. Yeah, and that might be a little light, of course, but I don't see. So maybe like our second first.
But the idea of them trading Deshaun Watson was seemingly impossible.
But that was insane. I cannot believe it.
And now we know that it's not only possible, but it just might be taking place. Now, we did have some fun. I don't take it personally. This is all a joke, of course. But I would like to remind my good friends Matt OLeary and Ryan from Jets Talk 24/7 and whoever else laughed at me that day. I'm smarter than I look. I'm younger than I look. And I just might be the smartest man alive. I recommend consideration of my thoughts moving forward, and I will remind you that this looks just like the video I made for Jetnation earlier in the season where I said that Joe Douglas not only didn't want Jamal Adams, didn't want Adam Gase, and also didn't want Sam Darnold. I was destroyed. Most of my comments made fun of me and said I was making things up to try to get clicks. Clickbait, they said. And now here we stand. Jamal Adams gone, Adam Gase gone, and there's a 95% chance that Sam Darnold is gone. Stop fucking with me. What does it all mean? It just means that maybe you should consider what the old man has to say, my young bucks. It's a good day. Enjoy the playoffs and go Jets.
You need to keep it, so I don't think there's any way that they trade Deshaun Watson. They'll cut the entire roster and play with just 15 people before they trade Deshaun Watson. The most overall. I have too much fun on the show.
GreenBean, what do you think about Andrew Luck? You think he ever comes out of retirement?
I don't. I think the reason he left was. I'm sorry, I stopped listening. What did you say? I was looking at these.
That's all right. Pitts, Waddle, Davis.
What is it?
Doesn't matter.
Pitts.
Who wins the shirt? Who wins the shirt?